Hey everybody, I am Sandy, and we are in Canada at the Canadian Pool Show, which is one of my favorites to go to.
I think it's still my favorite. I mean, we've been coming for how many years now? 7, 8, 9 years, I don't know, it's a long time. But this is always a good show for us.
It definitely is. So I'm going to spin it around. We're going to watch the pool guy as he meanders in the pool show just for fun, because I think it will be mildly entertaining. In the event that it gets a little tedious or boring, then I'll add commentary, or we'll just wrap it up and come back to you later.
It might be best just to wrap up, but okay.
All right. Well, let's check it out. Okay, here we are. People registering to come in. Just that's the behind the scenes look. All right, and go ahead and take us in.
I think the important thing about coming to the show, when I talk to other pool professionals, I'm always encouraging them to learn more. We think we know, because we know a little segment of our industry, we think we know everything we need to know. And while it's adequate to do your job and to get work and to do what you're doing, it's always better, I think, to expand, to grow. And being a part of the environment, it's a time and money thing. Absolutely, it's an investment. But by being here, you never know. If you go with open eyes and open mind and open heart and open hands, you never know what you're going to find and who you're going to meet and what you can learn that's going to help make your business better or make something easier or find a new product that solves a problem. We can, to some extent, rely on our suppliers to teach us what's new in the market, but we really have to interface with the innovators out there doing the work to really find out what they're doing. So that's why we always make a point of coming to a bunch of the shows a year. It's a time and money investment. We have work to do like everyone else, but we always cut this time schedule to be here instead of being out working, because we've always found that valuable. It's always helped us innovate and be creative and be different and stay on the front edge of the new trends, the new technology, or even before they exist. We find ourselves sometimes in a position that we're doing something that's never been done or not popular yet. And in a lot of cases, it's because we've seen something, or we've talked to someone that's inspired us at a show to try something different.
So I do believe it was last year we walked into the Canadian show and you found something that we didn't necessarily know we needed, but it was one of the first things you saw. You want to recap what that was?
So we were in the very beginning stages of building the Lazy River project, and I was looking for a solution to a non-traditional solution to making the river do what it's supposed to do. We could have gone with a very traditional pump system. I was looking for something different. And we walked into the show, and sure enough, Endless Pools had a portable hydraulic-driven unit that sat in the water. And it's used for their endless pools. Normally those are built right in, if you've ever built or seen an endless pool, it's built right into the end of the pool to create a current. That's pools swim against the current. Well, they had just come out last year with a portable unit that didn't need to be built into their entire system, and it was a set-in unit that someone could use to create a current in the corner of a pool or whatever they wanted to do to be able to swim against the current. And this was the perfect opportunity for us to be able to interface with them, figure out this is perfect for the Lazy River, because now we don't have to do the traditional way that it had always been done, and now we can use several of these units and create this river. And that was, without having been at the show, I would have been trying to build it in a really traditional way, which is a lot more labor intensive and pumping and plumbing and all of that. We were able to strip down all of that and just use these portable units and build the river to modify the river to be able to handle these units so they're not in the way, and that's what we've done.
Are you looking for any particular solutions today?
I didn't know that I was looking for that solution last time. It just showed up. And while I'm noodling on all kinds of things that we're building, I think I have most of them figured out. But there's always something else. There's always something that's going to solve a problem better than I can try to figure it myself. And likely there'll be something here today. And that's, again, a good portion of the reason why I like to show up, is I never know what's going to surprise and challenge me and then be able to use.
Is it a Canadian show that you saw the LED lighting strip options for the first time?
Likely. It almost seems like most of the real big ahas that I've had in the last 5 years came out of the show. This show is compared to like a U.S. show, this would be considered a fairly small regional show, but there's a different energy about it. The people are different, the environment is different, there's a lot of different things, but it's just different, and different in a really good way. So I think that makes it special, and maybe that's why we see products that maybe are at different shows, but we see them here because the environment is more comfortable.
All right, well, take us in and let's see what we shall see. It's like, I was going to say, he sent John, I was like, thank you.
Here we are. Like every other consumer/industry show, they all look kind of the same at the beginning until you start paying attention to what's going on. And every industry show kind of has the same look. You can only do so much, but this show just has a really good energy about it.
Okay, are we going to the right or the left? We always go to the right. We should.
Want to do it different?
No, let's go to the right. Then we'll remember where we've been.
See, I just wanted this lunch because they do provide lunch at the show.
Ah.
So the key with traveling the show that we have hung up over any booth. Oh my gosh, I know. The start of just seeing what the deal is. Cool. Hey guys, you're live on Facebook. Yay!
Game faces, everybody.
Ready.
Game faces.
Oh God, I'm gonna have more kids calling me now.
So tell us about how we enjoy shows.
We've known these guys for a long time, and it's always fun to see people year after year to show up at the show because it kind of builds familiar faces. And I think the first time we saw you guys,
Atlantic City.
Was it Atlantic City? It was before that at the Novi show. It was the Novi Pool show you guys were doing.
Oh my God!
Way back.
Yes, that was
that was when you guys
Dad was
were
going. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I think the first place we saw you, and then Atlantic City, and then shows after that.
You asked me a couple of questions, and I think I talked to you
It's probably on.
Yeah, because I sat in your little seminar, your whole seminar. I was in New Orleans. And all that. So I was in one of the chairs. I remember that.
Nice.
Fun.
The real reason they started watching is because I always watched your videos and I'm like, oh crap, that's Al from Ask the Pool Guys.
Yay. So one of
What's shaking? What's happening?
There's a lot of pools getting put in and a lot more clear decks getting put in.
Perfect.
Because if you're going to put in a pool, you want to heat it, you got to figure out some way to keep the heat in the water because physics will take the heat out of the water at night when it gets cold. So you can't fight physics, can't fight Mother Nature. You better cover up the pool and
here she
figure out a
goes.
way to do
Keep
it.
it going.
Well, don't think about it after the fact. People think about it after the fact. That, oh my God, I turned on my pool heater. It cost me $400 last month. So they turn off the pool heater.
And
then they don't go in the pool.
Exactly.
So they just spent $100,000 in a backyard with landscaping and kitchen, and nobody goes in the pool because it's too hard to keep warm. So think about how you're going to cover your pool, not if you're going to cover your pool. So whether you're doing an auto cover, whether you're doing a solar blanket, put it in the deck because nobody wants to see it when it's sitting on top. So that's basically what's new is what's old. It's the same thing
it's the
all
same
over
conundrum.
again, but it's not going to go away. You got to figure out how to keep the pool water warm.
You seem a little passionate about this.
I am Italian though, so it's
A little bit.
Get that oxygen machine out there. Get some air.
My husband always says if he wants to get me to stop talking, he just grabs my hands because then I can't talk because I have to do this at the same time. And then all of a sudden I shut up. I'm like, oh my God, he's got, like, I can't talk now.
So one of the things that I really enjoyed when we ran into you at one of the last shows is you were telling us a little bit more about the company, and I like the fact that you've got a great product, a great brand, and yet you're kind of like you're not a big and scary manufacturer. You're kind of like more hometown and homegrown.
Patented design 20 years ago when he started clearing because he was a pool dealer. He sold pools for 42 years.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Thousands of pools in the Windsor, Ontario area. And he always said that, I hate those solar blankets. Those things are awful. He goes, I got an idea. I'll bury it in the ground. And sure enough, he designed it, figured it out. Manufacturer figured a way to make it and put it in the ground. But it's a family company. So I am here because my dad was a pool dealer for 42 years. Because I used to fill chlorine bottles when I was 12. Like, this is... they say once you get in the pool industry, you don't get out.
That's what happened. Chlorine in her
The
blood.
chlorine came went
She
straight
drank
to
a
the
little
head.
too much of it.
Brain cells, I'm sure. But,
I know.
She was hooked up to
but yeah,
IV
you're
when she
just
was
here
3.
all the time.
Chlorine IVs.
It's just something you do every year, and that's all of our group of companies all basically revolve around the swimming pool and how to make it better. And that's
So what are you guys seeing in the industry as far as builders? Are you seeing a lot of landscapers putting in pools, a lot of builders, and then what does the next generation of builders look like?
pool builder. It's the family home builder person, but they are all linked up with a landscaper. Whether they are operating as one company, everything under one umbrella, or they're selling projects as two companies coming together. Here, I'm going to put a pool in for you, and then this guy's going to put the waterfall, the rocks, the greenery, everything else that goes along with it. It's almost like if you don't offer a full backyard solution to people, they go look elsewhere because they don't want the hassle of, okay, the pool guy's got to come in and do this, and then the landscape guy's got to come and do this. Let them work together and create the backyard of your dreams as necessary. But, after you've put in this beautiful $100,000 backyard, you still have to keep the heat in the pool water, and for the next 20 years, that's your main expense in operating that swimming pool, is heating the pool. And people don't think about that beforehand. They think about the lights and the slides and the pretty picture and everything else, but how am I going to keep that pool warm so some people actually want to go in it? Clear deck roller is one option, auto cover is another option, but ours is about a third the cost of an auto cover, so if an auto cover scares you, come and see what Clear Deck has to offer.
Nice. Well said. And thank you.
I
Yeah.
got nothing else to that.
We listen completely unscripted and off the cuff.
Oh, really?
Well, fantastic. Well,
I
Al,
came into the family business
Yes, he
because
did.
he got tired of putting them in. So he got me.
nice.
He's our longest standing employee.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and that's a sign of a great company culture.
I still love her. I still love her.
Well, thinking about this, I'm wondering when we could just say you guys here to
The company started in 2002. 2002 to 2004. We started off just in the local area.
And we went down to show her what we got where I remember they did all that. There they did. Nobody wanted to talk to us. I remember how
It takes a long time to change pool dealers' mentality.
Absolutely.
Because they do the same thing over and over and they do it well. And it always works. But when you say, like, listen, I hate to work. No, you hate the roller. You hate that thing sitting on top of your deck. You hate the customer calling and bitching. But you don't hate the solar blanket. The solar blanket does what it's supposed to do. You just take the method of deploying it, and it's going to make it easier for you to deploy a solar blanket.
we're trying to save you.
It's changing mindsets and getting people to think.
And you're absolutely right. Pool guys don't change.
They don't want to. They don't want to.
It's like a new product that's going, oh, I don't know.
Right. Well, we could have actually logged through.
Now that we know
Once they get
everybody
past the
too.
scary, once they put one in, they go, oh, this is
Oh, yeah, right.
They think it's difficult to put in. It's like, no, there's no ropes, there's no pulleys, there's no motors, there's no anything. You're just sitting it next to the pool. You can level, square, and put concrete around it. You can't screw it up even if you try.
We had a new guy just come here. People over here come on. They eat the same things. You guys come out and show.
I know.
But usually when I get there, they've already got it in place. And they've read the instructions. They've done it mostly right. It's just the odd thing you got to tell them. They got to get past that first.
Okay.
What I can do
Speaking of new things, I see a new brand that we're going to have to mosey on down and talk about. Yes, we should head in that direction and talk about what's going on and how sometimes industry changes, whether you want to see it happen or not. All right, cool. Thanks, Ray. Nice to see you.
Atlantic. I believe so.
Cool.
Say hi.
Will do. All right, Al. So what's new in the world of pool equipment?
So there's that big sign behind me. There's a long story to acquiring and businesses, companies coming together, and now this is a company that internationally has done an awful lot of swimming pool product, but they never really had a hold in the U.S. market or in the North American market, then the Canadian market either. And they merged with or were bought out by.
So Fluidra is the parent company now of Zodiac, Jandy, and Astral, which we had talked about. Astral, you had tried to buy some of that equipment.
Astral was the original company that was doing pumps, heaters, filters, maybe not heaters, but pumps and filters and things. And they had a big market worldwide but had no penetration here. This now is the culmination of Astral kind of getting together with Jandy, Zodiac, and
Polaris too is under that umbrella.
There's a lot of companies. Paramount is under that umbrella. There's all kinds of stuff. And how the deal is, I have no idea how it worked out, who owned what and how they merged and did one by another one. It doesn't really matter. But this is the culmination of the regional, and it's sort of the parent company over all of these really great brands in the industry.
So if people have watched our stuff for a while, they would know that you were almost exclusively a Pentair equipment installer. And then we met somebody from Jandy who kind of worked his way in and made things a little more interesting on the equipment side for us. You want to talk about that at all? And Josh?
Well, I think Josh is a really good example of a rep in the field really doing his job. He researched us. We were never going to be, and he knew on the front side, we were never going to be a big dealer of his product because our business is not around volume. We're never going to be a big dealer. I think what he understood, though, was we are an influential dealer because we talk about product online. And Josh took the time to understand our needs and meet with us in a way that was different than anyone else just knocked on the door.
He wasn't pushy.
He wasn't at all. He just kept sort of showing up and kept showing us what was available. And I had been a Jandy guy before, only in the past when they did the Aqualink was the only really good control system on the market. That's the one I have on my pool from 20 years ago, was the Aqualink. And so I knew Jandy, but I kind of gotten away from Jandy, and we were very much exclusively Pentair until things weren't working out exactly as we had hoped. We weren't quite getting the support that we needed for the things that were happening, and it just opened up the door, the window out. We wouldn't have gone looking. We would have dealt with what we had. But Josh took the time to seek us out, knowing that we were kind of diehard fans of Pentair at that time, and he kept doing those things that a really good salesperson / representative of a company in the market would do. And he was persistent but not obnoxious. He was always there, and then he delivered. That was the big thing. Big thing between him and so many guys that have walked in, women that have walked in the door trying to sell us stuff, is he delivered on all of it. He followed through on every promise he could possibly make. Yeah. And so Florida now is sort of the overarching parent company of a bunch of those brands of things that we use.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's keep moving and see what is new and what else we can share with our, adoring fan base at home who's not here at the show with us. Oh, wait, there's a puppy. There's a puppy. I don't know why there's a puppy. You know why? Because there's no signal, so it's the screensaver on the screen. But look at that. It caught my attention. Oh, here's Fluidra Pool School. Actually, that's kind of cool. So we've got Versaplumb and hydraulics, iAqualink, Jandy VS variable speed pumps, JXI heating, and Grand Effects, right? So they also bought Grand Effects, which does some of the fire features and things like that. I will tell you from the programming standpoint, I'm going to flip this around. So from the programming standpoint, as Al mentioned, Josh had worked really hard to kind of get in the door with us, and we tried a couple systems originally, and he sold us on one because the pool was a little bit further away from the office than usual. So he said if we put the system in, he was actually closer, so he would help troubleshoot if anything random came up that we needed. And from the automation standpoint, plug and play, I really do like that iAqualink system. It, at the time, was a lot more streamlined and easier than Pentair to install and program. However, Pentair has upped their game since then. So the two systems are, I would say they're both doing really well. The iAqualink, I think, is perhaps still a little bit user-friendly, or more user-friendly on just the, I like to plug in things and make sure they work. Mark is the one who then ends up doing a lot of the programming, making sure everything works absolutely like it should. So they're both excellent systems, and yeah, that might just be a little easier. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. I will flip you back around. We'll see what else is what. And we'll see where we lost the pool guy. Wow, because I feel like I was distracted for a second talking about that, and he obviously is checking out all kinds of new things. Awesome. Let's go take a peek over here at what the inside of a panel looks like. So here's where we have the buttons, and then here is what happens. So each button obviously controls a relay, gives us power to some of the various things and the breakers in the panel. The True Clear salt system, swimming pool heater, swimming pool filter.
Sorry, you don't want me to eat it.
No worries. And the Jandy Pro Series pump. So old school pool guy tip here. If you install Jandy, or now Fluidra, for the first time, one of the things that you may not know is if you get their variable speed pump, it does not have buttons on the pump. So old school pumps that were not variable speed tended to just be put into the on-off switch or the timer that you'd have on the pool. And then with variable speed, they, like the Pentair version, has buttons on the back of the pump that if automation's in control, the buttons on the pump don't work. But if automation is not in control and you have it in service mode, then you can push the buttons on the back of the pump. Well, Jandy didn't put buttons on the back of the pump. So if it was the first time installing that equipment, you needed an ancillary button pad that you could mount on the wall near it or something like that. So I know that's one of the things that wasn't entirely clear when we used it for the first time, but overall I think a really cool product. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Hi, pool guy. I'm just making my way from Jandy. I am, well, and all my friends that are online. I mean, Vera's like one of our best friends because she was on early on the live, which is totally cool. So one of the other things that Jandy did, which their branding marketing wasn't super awesome when they rolled it out, but they did a trade-specific series that they removed a lot of their products from the internet, and then a few other manufacturers followed suit. And the reason that might be important is if you can go on Amazon and buy a pool heater for less than a pool person can buy it from the supplier, you're creating a little bit of an issue when it comes to service, warranty, and ability for pool people to, make money and stay in business.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I'm thrilled with that decision. Ultimately, I do think that it could have been handled a little bit differently, but it was a pretty bold move for a company this big to do. And it's probably a good thing. In my heart of hearts, I feel it's probably a good thing. I didn't like it on a gut level because it was contrary to our company, which is all internet. Is how can we share? How can we promote and enjoy the industry and yet be able to use the internet for it? And that's something that I at first didn't think that it was the best move, but ultimately it is. There's a million thoughts going on around Jandy and around this now. Is don't be mistaken because we're only talking about Jandy and that Jandy got their way into our business. We're also still Pentair fans. I mean, there's a loyalty that comes from dedication to what you know, and there's some advantages with Pentair equipment as well. And the only reason I'm saying this is that we do use both for very specific reasons, and we've even interchanged them and used parts of this and parts of that when it makes sense. And while brand loyalty is important, I think service is more important, and that's certainly something Jandy's really stepped up the market and really helped us out with. And yet, when I think of Pentair and I think of some of their products that I really don't ever want to replace, even if I love the new Jandy product, there's still some stuff that I'm rather going to go to Pentair to get. So when we're talking this, we don't carry personally a brand loyalty to any one brand because we're not big enough dealers, and we never will be, that volume discounts would matter.
And we like a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of equipment for a lot of different reasons.
And we have different needs. Each project is a little bit different. We don't cookie cutter any of it. It's all based on, is this going to solve the problem that we're facing? Is this going to be a solution? And so from that standpoint, I'm one that's not going to stay rigid to only one thing. The only reason that we do with Jandy now was because of some of the issues that had come up with Pentair. And it's not like we don't love the product, we don't love the product. So I just want to make that distinction because it's not one or the other.
It's both.
It is both.
And sometimes even other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go check out some of that other stuff. I mean, we could talk about this for probably 8 hours straight. I'm getting the sense. Yeah.
Well, it is something worth investigating and exploring a little bit as to why do we make buying decisions the way we do. And as you know, not all companies go through the mental process that we do and make a decision. It's just a price issue. Well, I can get this cheaper than this, so I'm going to use it. Or this is more readily available, or whatever. We go way deeper and say, what are some of the psychological reasons, and what are the long term, and we look a lot deeper into it than just going, but I can get this one cheaper than I can get this one. Much like we've always made it a policy to never compare price to price when dealing with wholesalers. We've never taken a price from one wholesaler to the other one and said, can you match this? That was just never, that brings a whole different element to life, and it's not worth it. Let's be fair, and if they can serve us the best that they can serve us, let's not beat them up over price. Let's find a way to just be a better dealer, and that's what we've always done. So
speaking of products, we are always an advocate for the Dolphin by Maytronics. And now with our Fluidra Polaris brand, I'm seeing some Dolphin-looking pool cleaners that might be worth trying. I'm not sure yet because we haven't, but they could be.
Well, it's something worth promoting. It's not something we're likely to install or use ourselves because most of what we do is in-floor today. So we're less likely to have a pool cleaner. However, I have heard that some of the robotic pool cleaners out there, other than just Maytronics, have become really good. And again, we've been that's a brand loyalty thing to them for so long. And I've heard still some really good things about the different Polaris products. So it's just not something that we sell or use very often. We get information about it.
But if we did, we'd always sell a Dolphin. So, yeah. Cool. Well, let's see what else. Seems like we could stop at just about every corner of every booth here. There's some fire. Ooh, some different fire surrounds.
I got that out of your facial
There's the new product area in the back, Al. Should we go to the back corner and check out the new products?
It's like a little corner here.
Which shows you, I guess, one of two things. Number one, how much new innovation there is in the industry, which isn't a ton every year. Or when people innovate and put new things, maybe they keep it at their booth instead of doing this separate area over here. So here's some new above ground, on ground, walls, things like that. This is intriguing. I saw this at the last show we were at. And I have a question for the manufacturer, which I don't know the answer to yet. It's a new product. It's a printed step and it's acrylic. And I want to know, are they putting vinyl in somehow and then acrylicing over it, or is it printed differently? Al might know.
I do know. It's printed acrylic that happens to match the liner that's available. So you have a vinyl liner and you have a printed step, so it's in the acrylic itself, and they just happen to match.
How are you printing on like the curves of acrylic?
Because this is a sheet of acrylic.
Oh, okay.
And then it's form molded.
It's molded.
So you heat it and you draw it in with air, and it sucks to the shape of the mold. So you start with an acrylic piece that has that pattern on it, big flat piece, suck it into the mold, and now we have a 3-dimensional.
Okay.
Or you could hand paint it, draw the mold in and then go out and hand paint it, but it seems like that would be a little bit.
So that's kind of cool, and it looks like there's a blue option coming soon in gray. And, always fun to have options other than white, regular.
When we were doing the more traditional vinyl liner pools, and there's still a lot of people are out for the pool just plain white steps in, the plain white step just jumps out and into the ISO. And in today's day and age, the past didn't matter so much, but in today's day and age when you're looking for an inclusive a calming in the backyard, and people are spending a lot more time and money back there, doing at least a colored step, even if it wasn't patterned, we always made a point of doing a gray or a darker step that didn't jump out, and it didn't like interrupt your eye as you swept across the back looking at the backyard. But when you had everything blue and all this beautiful color foliage and everything else, and then you had this very stark white step sticking out of the pool, it was something that your eye was drawn to. And really, you don't want your eye drawn to it. You want your eye to just sort of flow over that. And that's where colored steps came and were a much better option than white. And now we're taking it a step farther. The industry is taking it a step farther and printing those patterns into the step itself. So now it's even more seamless.
Cool. So here's some blinking lights. Another way of getting sound into the pool. Wow. Sound speaker. Wow. Resurfacing. Touch me. I'm 3D. It's like a printed vinyl with a tile profile. Interesting. A couple different options. Chemicals. Here's the Polaris Quattro.
The pressure side cleaner. Interesting. Some of the newer technologies is taking pressure side cleaners and adding fins on them to sweep and clean up there.
Here's some UV.
This is UV.
UV is not ever a standalone system, but it's always an ancillary available, and a lot of commercial requires an ancillary.
An additional sanitation system to clean the water. UV is really nice. The ultraviolet light does a really good job of breaking down organic material and killing bacteria and things. So as you're passing the water through the unit, there's a glowing light inside, a UV light that's penetrating into the water and destroying some of the organics. And what it does two things. It cuts down your chemical usage, and it's a cost savings because you're not spending as much on your chemicals. You are spending money on the unit on the front side, and it doesn't cost very much to operate once it's in, but you do have some maintenance involved, and it's just something that is a really good backup if you want to go cut down the chlorine water roof. Really is a good option.
Cool. Oh, Leaktronics is here. We saw this system at the International Show. We'll talk more about that. Digital water testing, always a good thing.
That's always something that most people don't want to talk about because they don't want to have to deal with a pool losing water. And yet, that's a reality. Things happen, pipes crack, things break, and part of all of the industry needs some form of leak detection so that it's fairly easy to find something when you have a problem or you need to come up with a solution for it. And that's something we've had a system for quite a few years now in the back pocket in case we need it, in case we have something where we're having leak issues. There's some pretty cool technologies like that today.
So here's some digital testing.
That's
Looks like there's the water link, the spin touch, which I have to say that Scott Gafford had been the one to tell me that we needed the spin touch, and he offered to lend us his. And instead of doing that, because he advocated for it so much, and we have a lot of weekly service customers, and we wanted something a little more like digital, technical on the job site, but also portable. So we did get a spin touch. It worked wonderfully for us this season. Really easy to operate. I know sending everybody out to do the pool cleanings when they got the levels, if they were not quite sure what to do with each pool, they could, send them back to the office. We could give them the advice or instruction they needed really quick. These are not inexpensive units, better suited for kind of a service company, but for a homeowner who wants to invest in being able to test their water at home themselves. I think price point, I don't know, our cost might have been about $800 or so for the unit and then the discs, but this kind of takes that water testing to a new level, and I do highly recommend it and give it the Pool Girl thumbs up. Got some chlorinator systems, some chemicals. Ooh, this is interesting. It's HD Vision.
That's management and inventory stuff.
Oh, you can get real-time pool occupancy, waste and energy management, freshwater automation and control, and other things like that, because it will count the people in the room. There's technology that I recently was talking to somebody, and they were involved, or their husband, I think, was involved in technology that you can put a camera or some type of a sensor on a room. Like you could put one up in the corner of the expo center, and it could tell you what the occupancy was over the last 24 hours through heat signatures and things like that. So there's just a lot of mind-boggling information available. Oh, look. Probably somebody that's seen the Pool Guy online. Oh, and it looks like lunch has been served, Al. We might just have to take a quick lunch break and come back after lunch.
So interesting story. The guy behind me said, I don't know, say my home, said that he loves our Instagram posts. So normally people find us on YouTube or Facebook,
Right.
where this is the first time that someone said, I love your stuff on Instagram. Yep.
And he looks totally like the profile at a glance of an Instagram user.
That's exactly what surprised me.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's very cool. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we will be back with you in a bit, where we will go look at, Prayer, valves, Cover Star, Pool Works, Latham, and everything outside the first aisle and a half of the pool show.
We know that I said when we got here that I was coming for lunch, and now lunch is served, so we gotta go.
Okay.